Okay, I will start for this event today. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today. If you use the remote, please sit and get cozy because we are about to start. Okay, good morning everyone. We're delighted to have Dr. Sadia Anwar as an Associate Professor, Institute of Commerce and Management from the University of Sindh from Pakistan with us today. Welcome to all our participants as well. What a joy to have you all here on this special day. Thanks to the main upstaff for bringing us together for this exciting lecture on the topic change management. Today we're in for a treat as we dive into change management. It's a hot topic in our event. Today's session is being live streamed on University of STEKOM YouTube channel. Now, let's quickly run through our schedule for today. First, we will start with the past presentation by Dr. Sadia Anwar, and then continue with the Q&A session. And for our participants, you can raise your hand or you can write in the room chat in the Q&A session after already presentation. And the third, this session is short photo session to wrap things up, and last is the closing. No more waiting. We will start with the class today, delivered by Dr. Sadia Anwar. The time is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Novita. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. First of all, I'm really very much thankful to the STEKOM University for giving me an opportunity once again to present one of the lecture that is on a very important topic, that is change management. The term change management is not considered only with the organization, but it is very much important in our real lives as well. If we say that if we are not going to change ourselves, it cannot be. When we were a child, when we were very small, we used to have a different phenomena, we used to have different aims, we used to have different goals, we used to think different things. But with the passage of time, as we grown elder one, we get changed. Means physically, emotionally, mentally, in all ways we got changed. And this is the way how we used to get changed and how these things impact in our real life as well as in the organization. Today's topic is not particularly about the organization. It can be managed in your own life so that you can enjoy your life and you can understand the importance of this little term, that is change. It has been said that one thing that is constant for the rest of our life is a particularly term change. This is the only term that is constant and that needs to be occur in our lives. Well, moving ahead, I hope that today's lecture will become beneficial for you all and you will enjoy this one. Let me share my presentation. Okay. Now, leading corporate change, or what we can say, it's about change management, that how we used to change, means what are the techniques, how we can change. And it is all about, it is related with obviously it is related with the corporation, it is related with the organization, it is related with the human resource management, it is related with the organizational behavior as well. The topics or the contents today we are going to discuss in today's presentation will be forces for change, principles of change, 5 activities contributing to effective change management, motivating change, creating vision of change, developing political support, managing the transition, sustaining momentum, elements of change enablement. The most important thing is that it is not only that one person can get change in all organizations, or if we say that it's only a work of any one leader who can change. No, it's a combination. It's a combination of different forces. It's a combination of different rules, regulations. It's a combination of different people in the organization or different human resources, which can combine together, can bring the change in any of the organization. Otherwise, this change phenomena cannot be occur. According to the Jack Well, according to him, he said that when the rate of change outside exceeds the rate of change inside, the end is inside. According to this simple statement, it can be easily understand that if outer side, means the world around you, is getting changed, but if you're not changing yourself, if you're not changing the things inside you, if you're not changing the things around you, means everything around you is getting changed, but you are not changing yourself. So this is the end of inside. You cannot come forward. You cannot enjoy the success. You cannot bring good things around you, because if everything is getting changed. For example, we can take a simple example of a technology. At this moment, the smart phones are very, very much normal and very much common everywhere. If we are not going to use those smartphones, can we be can we be a part of this world, or can we be a part of this society? Exactly not. It is very much important that when the technology is taking place, or when the technology is getting changed, it is very much important that we have to change, either we like it or not. Some people around us, sometimes the professors of my university, they used to say that we don't want this technology around us, na? And we sometimes they feel very much difficult for using these smartphones, but it is very much important for them. Even they used to take the trainings. We teachers used to take the trainings how to use this technology, though we belong to the technology sector or not, but we have to learn, we have to get trained, we have to get this thing in ourselves, so that we can be managed, we can be successful, or we can get into we can be acceptable around the world. In short, it's not about teachers, it's about a management, it's about manufacturing departments, it's about hospitals, it's about any organization. Because when you are the students of HRM, or you are students of the organizational behavior, it is very much common that you should know that what are the factors that may come. Because you can be a member, you can be a part. Today you are a student, but tomorrow you will be some professional. You can be a manager at bank, you can be a manager at hospital, you can be manager at some school, you can be manager at some university, you can be manager at some services department, you can be manager of some manufacturing industry. So it is very much important that you must realize how you have to manage yourself, how you must bring those changes according to the environment around you, and how you can learn those things so that you can be much, much popular and you can be more successful in your life. Moving ahead. Now, there are different forces for change. When we used to say that it is only one thing that is change, what comes in our mind? What do we mean by change? Obviously, when we are talking about an organization, any organization, if you are going to talk about hospitals, if you're going to talk about the manufacturing companies or industries, if you're going to talk about the services or whatever you want to talk about, wherever you will move ahead, these are the different forces that will force you, that is important. As I said, that a simple smartphone, this is a force that has brought a change. If you don't know how to use that smartphone, you won't be able to use those things, you won't be able to manage in the society in the same way. There are different forces which impact to bring the change in any of the organization, or for the transforming of the business that is around us. Number one, knowledge economy. As at this moment, I'm from Pakistan, giving you the lecture in Indonesia. Now, this is what? This is a knowledge economy. Whatever we are having, we are going to share with you, and whatever the queries you would be having, you would be asking from us. And there will be different lectures which will be arranged, and obviously you will learn different things from the different people. Now, this is knowledge economy. How much you are gaining, how much you are getting the knowledge from different people. Sometimes it is not important that you get the knowledge from the books only, but From the practical environment, from the practical things, you get much more knowledge rather than how you learn from the books. Sometimes the practical implementation of many of the things. For example, any event in your university, you have arranged any function, the way you have arranged that event, that function, how you have arranged, how you have planned about the finance, how you have planned about the event. Now, this is the most important thing. Now, this is what we call that how you gain the knowledge and how you manage this knowledge. Though we are going to discuss everything inshallah ta'ala. Secondly, virtual organization. Virtual organization, at this moment, we can see that all are around us in the society. It is very much normal that we are getting this virtual things everywhere. It is not important after the pandemic, the COVID that has been rise in 2019. After that, we have seen that many of the organizations are working virtually. The thing that were once done practically now has been done into a virtual way. So this is one of the factors that brings up that forces to bring a change. Then we are having mergers, acquisitions, different types of organizations, different type of mergers. Sometimes, as you might have studied about the amalgamations and mergers and acquisitions. Sometimes because the economy has been gaining so much, I mean it all around. At this moment, we are living in a global village. While sitting in just one city, we can arrange many things from the other city. We can easily import or export anything from anywhere. Now, it's not a difficult part. Now, in this era, when we are having so much competition in a business, it is very much important to drive these forces, to manage these forces. The mergers and acquisitions are one of the forces that drive for the change. Then we are having electronic commerce, e-commerce, normally being used by the students. At this moment, as I've said, that in this global village, in this competitive era, we all are living in such a dramatic world that we never know that in this second moment what could happen. The stock exchange markets can be crash in just a movement, with one rumor on a Twitter, and whole e-commerce can be shake up. I mean, there can be so many things around that. Secondly, we are having digital convergence. Firstly, the things that has been managed physically, now everything has a digital impact. Everything has a digitalization. This digital transformation has changed the world. Again, the term is change, which is very much important, and it is a part of our life. Now, this has become a part of life. The most important and the very critical point, according to me, is the privatization. Again, when the organizations were public, they can be easily handled by the government. But when they become privatized, obviously some specific owners comes and they start getting into this one. They start involving into this one. They change the whole phenomena. They change the whole memorandum of association. They change the whole article of associations and all the rules and regulations of the organization. And obviously, it will impact on the business. It will impact on the transformation of whole organization. When something publicly something deal with the government has been dealing with the private sector, obviously the different situations occur. Now these are some of the points that may arise that can be considered as a process for changes. Now, rate of success in change efforts. What are the change efforts and how these are being considered as successful efforts? Particularly, we don't do the efforts. Unfortunately, this is a worst thing. We don't even try sometimes. We used to say that it's okay. Whatever has been happening, it's happening. No issues with this one. Now, if we are going to deal with such type of situations, obviously, nothing will be changed. For the change, it is very much important that we should take some efforts. We should take some efforts like doing the trainings or doing such things that can manage that can be helpful for the change, that can bring these forces, these success into our life. In this regard, it has been seen that in many of the organizations, the moderate successful has been considered as at 4% rate. Very successful are 9%. Too soon to tell are 27%. 33% are unsure, that they even don't know that they will be successful or not. I mean, either they are going to manage this change in the organization, they will feel successful to be in the organization or not. 27% are not very successful. Why they are not successful? Because the adoption. Always remember that if you are not going to adopt the things around you, it will obviously create a problem. It is very much important that you should manage and you should change and adopt the changes around you. The people used to resist, and this is the point of my lecture today, that the people used to resist. Why should we change? The technology we were using, it's okay, and we are going to use the same technology. We don't want to change. The thing is that if you're not going to change, how this success can come? Because only the person who is different from other can be successful. I usually used to say this in my lecture, that if you want to be a number one, you should be different and you should be alone. If you're not alone, if you're not different from other, you cannot be successful. Because to be a number one, you have always seen that in the standing ovations, whenever the person or the sport or whosoever has secured the first position, he has to stand alone. So it is very much important that if you want to be a successful person, then it is important that you must be successful. I mean, you should adopt this different type of changes, whatever has been happening around you. Now, there are two sides of changes. Number one is the technical side of change, and number two is the human side of change. As I've said to you, that it's about an organization and it's about a human resource management. Because always remember that human resource management is an important component or is an important part of your organization. No any organization can be successful without the human resource management. Means human, your employees, the people who are working in your organization, if you are not giving them the proper time, if you're not understanding their importance, your organization can never be successful. So it is very much important that you must realize this thing, that your organization can be successful with two factors. One, technical side of change, and second one will be human side of change. Now, there are simple principles of change. Number one, change is a process that can be enabled, not managed. If you will say that, okay, we are going to manage this change, okay, we are going to see this one. No, you have to enable it. You have to put it. Sometimes forcefully you have to bring the change. Sometimes you have to give the trainings to your employees. Or sometimes you have to manage yourself. For example, if any of the candidate is not so much good in English, what he will do? He will take some of the tuitions. He will go to some centers and take some extra classes so that their subject of English can be managed, or in maths or any other subject, or it can be a history. Any of the subject in which you are not feeling good, obviously you will do much more efforts in that one. You will ask other people to teach you. You will take some efforts. Now, these efforts are being enabled. They cannot be managed. Management is to handle the thing accordingly, but enabling to manage it means you have to sometimes do it with your will and sometimes forcefully. Secondly, the change process must be linked to business and performance goal. Now, when we are talking about the organization, obviously, we have to take forward two things. Number one, the change process must be linked to the business and performance goal. It is not like this, that if we are talking about the organization at this moment, that your employees, when you want some change in your organization and you are having some performance goals, like you have to achieve some of the targets, you have to change your goods, or you want to change some things in your services. Now, these are the performance goals. Name what performance you want. And in this performance goal, your human resource, your employees are the main character which are going to bring this performance in your organization. Now, if they are having some personal issues, can be a work family conflicts or any other thing, or any counterproductive behaviors of the employees. Now, in this regard, what you have to do, you have to manage, but you have to manage your employees according to your business, not in their personal life. Their personal life is not your business. You don't have to deal with them. Whatever they are doing in their personal life, that is not important for us. What is important for us? For us, it is important as a manager, as a top level managers, it is important that we should keep a view that the changes should be occur in the employees accord that is linked with our business or the performance goals. Then we are having building capacity to change is a strategic imperative. Now it is a strategic imperative. You cannot just change at once. You have asked your employees change yourself. No, you have to bring it in a strategic way. You have to put some steps. You have to put some efforts. You have to give them some time so that they can manage it. It's like building capacity to change is a strategic imperative. Means with the passage of time, make them realize, give them some trainings, introduce the new things to them. For example, some new technology has been introduced. A new machine, you want to install a new machinery or a new plant in your business, in your industry, in your factory or in your mill. What you will do? You will bring that machine or you will bring that plant in your industry? Obviously not. You will introduce firstly in your but with the presentations you will introduce or with the training sessions you will introduce to your employees that because of the changes in the technology we are bringing these things in our we are bringing these changes in the industry or we are bringing this new machinery and we want you to get trained in this regard because you are important. You will be a part of this industry. Will be a part of this organization, and because of that now, this is a way informing them, giving them telling them the importance of this technology, identifying the importance of why you are bringing this change, because you want to be a part of this competitive era. These are the important things which you have to tell them, which you have to manage them. Now, this cannot be done within one day. This will be a strategic imperative. I mean, there will be a long time. So in this regard, the fourth one is building capacity for change is an evolutionary process. Now, coming with this one again, it's an evolutionary process. Something new, evolution, something change, something different. As I said, if you want to be successful, then it is very much important that you must be different from other people. And building capacity of change, that if you bring a change, it will be an evolutionary process, obviously. It will bring an evolution in your industry. It will bring an evolution in your a new thing in your business. And this will not be an easy task. This is very normal. As I said, today you are a student, but tomorrow you will be a manager. Tomorrow you will be at some managerial post. And obviously, if you will be an MBA or BBA, whatever you are doing at this moment, so being a business student, you would be having your own business. So you have to make these things. You have to make these strategies. You have to make these policies. So try to understand all these factors accordingly in whatever the mind state you are. At this moment, think yourself, manage yourself. That what will be the things that can be that can be changed in your organization. Even if you are a class representative and you are in your class and you're having some project, what changes you can bring? Obviously, you cannot do the same assignment as the other one is doing. You have to bring something different. Then you can only secure the marks. So these are in the same way the organization is wrong. The things which we are learning at this moment, the same thing happens in the organizations. We used to train our employees, we used to tell them, we used to make the teams, we used to give them the targets, and in this way we used to move ahead. Coming with this one, effective change process require a systematic view of the organization. Again, once you have introduced something in your organization and then you will leave, okay, the employees will do it by themselves. Extremely wrong. When you are starting something new or when you are bringing something change in your organization, it is very much important that you must identify every step from one till the end. Means from the planning till the adoption of that change. Until or unless the employees are doing that, the employees are working accordingly, you are getting the results accordingly. Until or unless you're not going to get the results accordingly, you should not stop reviewing it. You should not means viewing it, or you should not administrating it that either they are working or not. You have to have, it means you should have an eagle eye on them. Simply, the managers should have an eagle eye on their employees all the time. Not like this that you should irritate them, but you should motivate them. Some of the employees are very easy to deal, but some of the employees need to be deal with the motivation factor of Z theory. They need sometimes carrot and sometimes stick. So that is very much important, that sometimes you have to be very polite, but sometimes you have to take some strict actions in regard of this one. But if you want to bring a change in your organization, it is very much important that you should remain a systematic, and you should be vigilant all the time. Now, secondly, the change process involves both organizational and personal transitions. As I said, that it's about both things. It's about an organization. It's about a human resource you are having. If the human resource that you are having don't want to get changed, if they are rigid, some of the people are having the neuroticism character in their personality. Uh, in my different lectures, I used to talk about this personality traits. It's a personality trait. I mean, one part of one component in your personality. Some people are having neuroticism in their characteristics, neuroticism in their nature. They used to always think negatively, or they move ahead into a negative factor. This is very common phenomena. And it is very normal among the people, because if everybody will become good, how, when the problems will occur, and where we will work out. So in this regard, it is very much normal to have these people around us in the society. They can be our friends, sometimes they are the colleagues, sometimes they are the people who are just around us. So it is very much normal. No need to get worried about this one. But over here, the most important thing is that this transition of change, this changing process will impact on both the organization as well as the personal transition. When we are talking about the organizational transition, obviously, if as I've given an example of inputting that plant or any big machinery in your factory, on in your mill, or whatever the industry you want to say, that this is an organizational change. This is a transition that is coming in your organization. When we are talking about a personal transition, that means you are giving a proper training to the particular employees who want to work, who want to be involved in that work, who are the personalities who can manage or who can deal with these changes in your organization. Now, this is the most important factor which you have to deal with. Then we are having behavioral change. Behavioral change is a function of perceived need and occurs at the emotional, not the intellectual level. Sometimes the people are very, very, very intelligent. Even we are having so many senior professors, they are so much intellectual. But the thing is that they don't, behaviorally they cannot be changed, because emotionally they don't want to get changed. They used to say that no, we are as we want. They still need that blackboard or a green board with a chalk. Now this is a behavioral change. Now this is an example why I'm giving you the example of teachers, because you are involved with them. You can see them. Yes, really, this happens. But with that, I would like to give you the examples of the organization as well. That in some organizations, what happened, that we used to have some employees which are having some behavioral issues. And this is again, cognitive behaviors are very much common in our society. As I said you, that every personality has 5 factors, and among those 5 factors, one factor is neuroticism. So in that regard, they don't accept everything very easily. If you want to bring some change, they will resist. They will say that we are working, we can produce the same thing in such a time duration. Just give us a time, and there's no need to bring a change. There's no need to have these trainings. It will become costly. There can be so many things. They will come in interacting with you. Now, this is what sometimes the employees get emotionally attached with the same sector. Coming to the industry, working with the same machinery, some people get emotionally attached with those routines, with those machines, with those things. So in that regard, they feel sometimes it becomes very much difficult for the management. It becomes very difficult for the organization to bring changes. So behavioral change, again, it is very much important that, for example, if you are you are introducing some insurance company, or you are introducing any of the company, any of the organization which will provide some services. But one thing, being a manager, you all have studied this thing in human resource management, that whenever you are as a leader, now there are different types of a leader. There are transformational leaders, there are transactional leaders. Now we are having the digital leaderships. So in this regard, we are having different types of places where leaders are there. They are very lively, and they are very easy to be handled, and they give very much ease to their organizations, and transformation and transactions are very much critical in their own ways. But at this moment, what I want to discuss with you is that while we are talking about a behavioral change, it is very much important to know about the perceived need, that how this how much it is important. This change is important to bring in the organization. As I was discussing, that in the services sector, we have been already taught that the leaders should be very much calm. They must control their emotions. They must be intellectually, emotionally intelligent, how to deal with their emotions as well as deal with the emotions of their employees. At the services sectors, or in those sessions in which we are dealing with the services, it has been literally many of the time it has been seen that the sessions has been given to them, the trainings has been given to them, how to deal with their own emotions and how to deal with the emotions of the people who are around them. It may be their clients, it may be their colleagues. So the behavioral change is very important, very important. And it is very much important being the manager or being the leader to identify this thing, because it's a teamwork. We will discuss this thing further, but at this moment, I would like to tell you it's not just a part of one thing, but it is a teamwork. Everybody has to work together. It is not only, as I've said previously, it's a two factor. Meaning, when you want to bring a change, it will obviously talk about the organization. It will always obviously talk about the employees. Previously, we have discussed about this thing, that digitalization or the e-commerce, or whatever the changes you want to bring, or the virtual organizations you are bringing. At this moment, we have seen that so many organizations have been virtually working around us in the world. Now, this is all the changes these can be put, but at the time when we are inputting these changes, it is very much important to manage the behaviors of the people around us, like our employees. We have to manage them. We have to train them. If they are feeling any difficulty emotionally, then it is very much again important for the manager to identify. Now, this is one of the major principle of the change. Then, resistance to change is predictable reaction to an emotional process and depends on a person's perception of a change situation. As I said, sometimes the people used to get fear. Fear of what? Fear of getting kicked out from the organization. That might be, if this machinery will come, we are going to be taken out from the organization, because one machine can do the work of 10 employees. Now, this may create a problem. Now, resistance to change is predictable reaction to an emotional process. Sometimes, as I've said you, that people are emotionally attached with the machineries. People are emotionally attached with the routine. Sometimes the people who are working 9 to 5 in some organization, after their retirement, they used to feel like this, that what we will do now. We were so much habitual of going to the office at 9. After retirement, what we will do? I mean, they start working even after retirement because it's their habit. They cannot maintain it. They cannot take apart. They cannot be relaxed. They want to work more because they are having great experience. So in that regard, resistance to change is predictable reaction to an emotional process. One thing. Second thing, depends on a person's perception of a change situation. As I said you from the very first slide, that it is very much important that you must make the people understand. Make the employees around you understand this thing, why this change is important. If you are giving them the training, if you are introducing something new, it is very much important that you should not impose on them forcefully. First of all, try them. Try it. Try by giving them the different seminars. Try by telling the importance of that thing. Try to give them this thing that in this competitive era, it is very much important to be to become successful. It is very much important to bring these changes in your organization, and it will obviously bring good things in your organization. Then we are having a handful of change enablement best practices account for the success of most change process. Now, among the principles of change, one of the beautiful thing that has been said over here is a handful of change enablement. I mean, it is not important that you have totally changed the thing, but if you are bringing some change in your organization, that enablement best practices account for the success of most change process. For example, if you have changed the top level management, it will obviously impact on the middle as well as lower management. If you want to bring some change in the leaders, if you, as you know, we used to have the labor unions in the organizations as well. So if you are just going to train that leader, now those leaders are some, that one leader deals with the 1,000 employees. So if you are going to manage just one leader, if you just train them or make them realize this importance of this change, obviously this will bring a great practice to bringing the successful change in your process, in the change process in your organization. Finally, change strategies are situational. Always remember, as the situation will change, the strategies has to be maintained. For example, before COVID, everything was practical, everything was physical, everything was has to be deal with the practical implementations or the physical implementation. But with the passage of time, when the COVID took place, in the era of COVID, in the beginning era, you have seen that everything has gone just stopped up. I mean, it felt like our lives has been stopped and soon we are going to die. But what had happened? God forbid, we all sustain, we all resist, we all are alive at this moment, and we start living in with the new phenomena. We started living with the new things, the businesses, the economies. No doubt, a huge drawback has come, especially in the underdeveloping countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Indonesia. We have seen a drastic change in the economy, a downfall in the economy of these countries, the underdeveloping countries. But what had happened? This had brought a beautiful change that now everything has become virtual and we started new things. Now, this is a situation. Because of a COVID situation, pandemic situation, a change has brought that everything from practical has become a virtual. In the same way, when we talk about an organization, if we are in a manufacturing organization, if we are in servicing organization, in whatever the era you are, in whatever the organization you are having, even in the hospitals, schools, universities, manufacturing companies, industries, insurance companies, banking services companies, wherever you are. If you want to bring some change, it is very much important that you must realize this thing, that all these changes are situation. The changes will become, or you have to bring these changes according to the situational factors. Now, moving ahead to the second part. 5 activities contributing effective change management. Now, there are 5 different activities that may contribute if you want to bring an effective change management in your. Now, there are 2 things. One thing is change, bringing a change. For bringing those change with the management, because always remember that we are having particularly different functions of management like planning, controlling, directing, leading. Now, these are different functions of the management. And if we want to bring a change, we have to bring all those management practices again with this one. It is very much important that we have to bring this change management if you want to make it effective. There are some activities which can be managed. Now, number 1, motivating change. Second one, creating vision for change. Third one, developing political support. Managing the transition of change and sustaining momentum. Now, there are 5 different factors. It can, how to motivate the change, as I've been discussing this thing from the very first slide, how to motivate these changes, how to create the vision of change. if you will drastically, you will see that we want to change the phenomena. We want to change the organizational structure. We want to change the structure of the management. So this cannot be done just at one moment. You need a practice, you need a vision, you need to identify that it will be beneficial for the organization or not. If something has been happening, any situation has been happening, but you don't want that change in your organization. And if you are bring that change in your organization, it is again not important that it can be beneficial. So first of all, you have to be very, very vigilant with this factor that whatever the changes you are bringing in your organization should be beneficial and should be, make your organization successful. Among those, we are having 5 different activities, and let's discuss these activities one by one. Number 1 was the motivating change. Now, motivating change and creating readiness for change. As I said, that it is not like this, that we are going to just bring the change that, okay, change yourself. Tomorrow we are having, we are going to start a new business. We need this thing. No, we set a targets. We set a goals. We set objectives. We set aims. We set the things, means we manage the things. We plan accordingly. This is now planning is a part of our management. And then we give the directions that do this, do that, make the teams, manage the things accordingly. We identify the people, we recruit the people accordingly, that this person, we train the people. And in this way, we motivate them. Now, first of all, we have to make our employees ready to get change. Yes, they want emotionally as well as they want mentally. They want to be get change. I mean, they want it to be changed. They want these training. They do it happily, because if they are they will, whatever the changes you are bringing in your organization, if they are not emotionally happy with you, they will not get satisfaction. And if they will not get satisfaction, it will create difficulties in your organization. So this is the most important thing. Now, motivating the change and creating the readiness for change, how you can do this? Number 1, sensitize organizations to pressure for change. Again, you have to pressure for change, but remember that pressure should not bring emotionally stress among the people. Otherwise, this will create a counterproductive behaviors. Counterproductive behaviors, or you can say deviant behaviors, like they will lie to you, their performance will get 0, they can do some of the frauds, they will quit from their work, they will do the absenteeism practices, they will get absent from the work, or they will become non-serious with their work attitude. These are called as the counterproductive behaviors or the deviant behaviors. So first of all, sensitize organizations to pressure for change. First of all, it is very much important that organizations should manage it and see the sensitivity. What sensitivity may occur? What resistance we can face, or what could be the behavior of the employees. Because as I said, your employees are the most important part of your organization. If you are not going to understand the importance of that particularly source, obviously you won't be successful in your organization. Secondly, we are having reveal discrepancies between current and desired states. What are the differences? What change will bring? As I said, it is not important to always bring a change. Sometimes it is okay as the things have been going on, and sometimes it is important to bring the change in your organization. If something is going good, it's good. But if you think that no, in this competitive era, we should plant this machinery, but that machinery is too expensive. First of all, the cost. What is the cost that you are implementing? Obviously, when you are going to implement a new machinery, you have to train your employees. And after doing this, if your employees are forcefully being trained and they are not ready to get change, or they don't want to get trained for they don't want to get trained for that using that technology. So in this regard, this will become very much costly for the organization, and it will not be fruitful for your organization. One thing, that what is your current state and what is the desired state. I mean, if you are successful at this moment, If you will bring some change, if you will implement some plants or some machineries in your organization, will this be beneficial in your organization or not? Now, this is the most important thing. Finally, convey credible, positive expectations for the change. Credible. There should be a credibility. It should not be like this, just giving a farce, just saying those things which cannot be acceptable. No, always remember, convey a credible, positive expectations. For example, tell your employees that if you are going to be trained, or if you are going to get these trainings, obviously you will be more successful, or you will be given bonus, or you will be having a chances to promote. Now, what will this will give? This will give an intrinsic motivation to them that, oh, yes, after the trainings, ask them to have the certifications. Now, this will give them the extrinsic motivation, both motivations, extrinsic as well as intrinsic. When they will get the extrinsic as well as the intrinsic motivations, obviously they will work for you. Now, these are the tactics which you have to manage in your organization. Convey the credibility, convey them, tell them the importance. As I'm telling you from the very first lecture, very first slide, that tell them the importance of that change, because sharing the knowledge, or we have talked about the knowledge economy, that at this moment there are so many organizations in which I have seen or I've been giving the lectures in different eras, and I'm finding these problems in different organizations, that the people what they used to do, that if I know something, they God forbid, if I know something, I'm having a knowledge of something, I will hide it from the other person. Now, this is becoming one of the very critical issue in many of the organizations, that employees used to hide their knowledge. So if you are having this credible, if you want to bring a change, you should manage them, that what will be the positive impacts, how this knowledge can help them, and how this knowledge can bring positive things in their lives, how they can be promoted, how the things can be more successful, how they can be sustained in the competitive era. And there can be hundred of the things which you can explain, you can discuss with your employees. Moving ahead, always remember one thing, that there are the four scale analysis model. As I was discussing with this factor, that we are having we should know what is the current state and what are the state that we are thinking that might be in future we are going to have this. At this moment, we have discussed in this slide the current and the desired states. Current states and the desired states. Over here, the same thing has been discussed once again. You can see that we are having the middle line. This middle line is showing the current situation. Restraining forces for change, driving forces for change. Obviously, there are some forces that will restrain you, that will push you. No, there is no need for change. They will resist. No, we don't need change. We don't need a new manager. We don't need a new people around us. How an outsider can be a part of our means partnership. There can be so many things that can restrain. There can be a resistance in your organization. However, there are the driving forces, as I have discussed previously. There are driving forces for change. For example, your knowledge economy. They can be the virtual organization. That can be the e-commerce or the different parts. At this moment, we are having so many driving forces that can put you up, but there are some of the things that will restrain you. Now, you should know. You might have studied about the SWOT analysis, na? Strength, weakness, opportunity, and the threats. What we have studied in that topic, we usually used to study that what are the strengths of the organizations, what are the weaknesses. The strength will push you up. However, weaknesses will push you down. It will bring a downfall in your organization. In the same way, when we move ahead into the opportunities are the driving forces that will bring a change, that will bring a success in your organization. However, again, the threats, there are so many threats. There are social threats, there are economical threats, there are political threats that will obviously restrain your benefits, that will restrain your success. It will force you not to get changed or not to be as successful. So this is the called a force field analysis model, that is particularly very much important to understand in the change management. Because when we want to have a change in our organization, we must know, we should analyze, we should have the different analysis model, like as I've said, you SWOT analysis, we should have a force field analysis so that we can manage these factors. Now, force field, as I've said, you strengthening or adding driving forces will obviously bring a change. If you're pushing it very hard, and if you are providing those technical knowledge to your organization, if you are dealing with the e-commerce, if you are dealing with the digitalization, if you are dealing with the all the factors that are being discussed in the driving forces, obviously you will, if these forces will be add up or these forces will be strengthened up, obviously it will create a change. It will bring a beautiful change in your organization. Removing and reducing restraining forces will obviously bring a change. Changing the direction of some of the forces. Sometimes we have to focus our weakness, because sometimes our weakness can be the most beautiful strength. Sometimes the people are having such a beautiful combination, like for example, we have, but at the time of the recruitment, we used to think we used to interview the people. And if someone is very beautiful in speaking, what we used to do? We try to put that person, particularly, we used to manage it into the marketing department. And when that person will be recruited into the marketing department, obviously he can bring the innovative ideas, he can speak up in a beautiful way. He would be having over here, I would again like to introduce one more factor of personality trait that are extroverted. Some people are extroverts. They are not the introverts. They are extrovert. They are very excited to do everything. Now, such people will obviously change their weaknesses into the strength. As I've said you in my lecture before I have started, that if you are weak in your English, if you are weak in your maths, or if you are weak in your history, what you will do? Will you fail in your exams? Obviously, no. What you will do, you will manage your weakness into the strength. How? By taking the classes, by managing yourself. In the same way, we are having some employees, and sometimes management has to see what are the weaknesses, what are the threats that they are receiving from their forces, and they change it from their weakness to the strength, from the threat to the opportunity. Now, this is how we used to deal with the change. Now, this is again a change. See, if we are changing our weakness into a strength, it is a change. If we are moving from our threat to opportunity, it is a change. Again, change is important. You can do this when you could be in your organization. Take this opportunity to think of a situation in your organization, in whatever organization you are having, or as you are students, you can do it at your home, or you can do it in your assignments, that where force field model can be demonstrated. Begin by identifying a change being instituted in your organization. For example, in your organizations, the virtual lectures has been, now this is an opportunity. This is a driving force or a restraining force. It will give you an opportunity, or it will lose the opportunity. Again, you are using the laptops. In many of the universities, the students have been provided with the laptops so that they can use the technology to enhance their knowledge. Now, this is a driving force or a restraining force. Sometimes the attitude of teachers, they are very strict. Sometimes it is very good, but sometimes it may restrain the power. It may be considered as a restraining force. Now, in this way, when you can hopefully, inshallah, you will be a manager at some point. So always remember that make a list. What are the threats? What are the opportunities? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the driving forces? And what are the restraining forces? What can push you for the successful? What can push you for the unsuccessful situation? What are the things that are important to bring a change? And what are the things that need to be maintained? There is no need to change, because it is not always that you should change. It is the thing how you manage. If it is important, do it. If it is not important, then you should manage it. Barriers of change. Now, there are different things you should realize. There are different barriers still up till in this competitive era. These are being seen in many of the organization, and this is a part of our until unless a human is alive, these things will be managed, because human nature is the most critical issue. Critical issue. You can never understand a human. At one part, sometimes we are such a moody personalities, or human is such a critical creature by God, that we never know how we can bring a change in our moods. If we are happy, we will do everything, and if we are not in a good mood, we will resist. We won't go with this such smooth way. We'll bring some things in our we will become a problem creator sometime. So it's about a human. It's normal. Number one, resistance to change. This is a biggest barrier to change. Biggest. You can see that it's a 60%. Its ratio is 60%. Now coming with this one, resistance to change. As I've said you, if your employees are emotionally attached with something, it will become very much difficult for you to manage them. But it is not impossible. Always remember, everything is difficult. Nothing is impossible. You can do anything. Second one is the limitation of existing system. It has a limitation for more than 40%. Now, over here, limitations of existing system, that whatever the system is going on, some people used to say that it's okay. Whatever has been going on, it should go on. There is no need to change. As I've said you, that it can be a barrier, that people don't want to change. Organizations want to remain as they are. They will say, if we are going to change, how this will happen, how we are going to change. This can create a problem. Secondly, we are having lack of executive commitment. Executive commitment. Over here, again, I will say this thing that 5 fingers are not equal, 5 persons are not equal. It is not important that if I am feeling that there should be a change, the other person in the executive committee, they must be thinking that there should be a change. So this is one of the barriers that might be change of mindset, or might be because of the changes around us. I mean, because of the people around us, they don't want to get change. They used to think that it can be handled, it can be managed accordingly. So there's no need to be bring a change. So this can be a part of executive commitment. Secondly, one is the lack of executive champion. Again, a leadership. We are talking over here, we are talking about the leadership. That when we are talking about a leadership, leaders should be a democratic one. I mean, they should manage these things. They should not create this problem that no, there is no need. They should be a champion. They should know the importance of the change. Secondly, unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations, as I've said you, that it should be according to the organizations must realize their performance goals. They should realize how their expectations should be realistic. They should not be non-realistic. They should not be think, for example, if I am earning, for example, my organization is earning 1 lakh rupees per month, it should be maintained. It should not be like this, that we would be thinking that no, if we are going to bring the change, it will be from 1 lakh, it will be double to the 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs. So in that regard, it is very much important that the expectations should be realistic. It should not be non-realistic. Then we are having lack of cross-functional team. Cross-functional team. It is something like that one person should. It is always a jack of all, master of none. We used to learn this in very childhood. We used to say this idiom that a person should be, if someone is jack of all, he is master of none. And I used to say, you should be jack of all and master of one. That is cross-functional team. You must know what can be the problems, what can be the team functions. You must be, there could be thousands of the things. If one person is not present, other person can take his place and manage it. Because when you start doing something, or you start doing something in a project, it will obviously manage. I mean, it will manage the things. You have to manage those projects accordingly. Then we are having inadequate team and users skills. As I said, you change management. Management skills are very much important for you. To whom you are planning, means who are the personalities around you, to whom you are recruiting. All these personalities are the people, how your team is. If your team is inadequate, if they are not that much skillful, if they are unable to manage their challenges, if they are not the challenge seekers, if they are not that strong to manage with the situations, it will obviously input the barriers into the change. Then we are having technology users not involved. Sometimes people used to say that it is not important to have the technology in the organization, so it will obviously bring a problem. It will also bring a barrier in the organization. Project charter too narrow. I always used to say that give a space to your employees. Tell them that how much important they are and give them a space. Give them a huge era that, okay, relax and ask the decisions from them as well. Don't impose your decisions into their mind. Ask them what they want, how this project can be managed, how we can, being a team, how we can manage this thing. This will obviously create a beautiful thing in your organization. It will reduce the barriers. It will reduce the downfall of the success. It will reduce the factor that can be flopful in your organization. So there are some of the barriers which I have discussed with you so that you can understand these things. Next point, while we are talking about the motivations and how this change can be very much, what should I say there? This change can be successful. So individual resistance. Number one, habit. If you're habitual of something, it will create an individual resistance. You're habitual of something, you cannot change so easily. Secondly, economic factors. As you know that previously I have given an example that if you want to implement any of the plant or any of the machinery in your organization, that is too expensive. Again, you have to give the trainings to your organization, to your employees. It will again bring some factors and it will bring some finance, and that will become too expensive for you. And if your employees are not ready to get change, it will become it will not become beneficial. It will not become considered as a fruitful for your organization. So this is this will indicate your individual resistance. I mean, why do you want to get change? Secondly, job security. In private organization, it has been seen majorly that the people are very much insecure with their job. So if they are not having their job security, then again, they will go for the individual resistance, and sometimes fear of in the public sector, it's a vice versa. The people are knowing that nobody can change our designation. So this will also resist. Some people, they are having a neuroticism character. They will resist. So there can be thousands of the things which can bring the individual resistance. Fear of the unknown. As I said, you don't know it will be beneficial for us or not. It should be that always remember that there should be a positive response. You should inform your people around you or the colleagues or the employees to whom you want to bring this change. They must know everything. They should not have this fear of unknown. That I don't know what will happen. I don't know what will be the session is about. I don't know what is the training about. Why this training has been given to us. They must know everything. You should reduce this fear. Otherwise, this fear will increase their resistance. Selective information processing. Selective information processing deals with the factor that this information processing is very much selective. You are informing to one leader, but you are not informing to the other leader. For example, in the organization sector, we are having managing department, we are having marketing department, we are having majorly the finance department, we are having the administration department. So we are having these 4 to 5 departments, and if we are selectively informing to just some of the departments, but we are not informing to all other departments, it will create a individual resistance, because obviously the people will say why you are just telling one person, because this knowledge is not economically being shared by everyone. You have hide your knowledge, and as I said, you hiding the knowledge is the worst thing that may bring the resistance to change or bring any resistance to anything. Then we are having organizational resistance. Now, again, this is, as I said, it's a combination of both of things, organization as well as human resource, or an individual or the employees. When we talk about the organizational resistance, number one is threat to establishment power relationship. Now, why the organizations used to think that we should bring this change or we should adopt this policy or strategy or not? Number one is the threat to establish power relationship. Firstly, we are having the relationship with someone, and then might be because of the implementation of the new strategy or the implementation of the new things that may create a problem in the relationship, because it is very normal that if for example, we are having two friends and one get the power and other won't get the power. Will they remain the friends? Obviously, they will not remain the friends, because one is having the power, another one is not having the power. So they both will collapse. Secondly, we are having a structural inertia. The structural changes, the structural formations. Sometimes there are the problems that may occur in relationship of managing the structure, to whom we should recruit, to whom we should not recruit, what will be the project, if we are to the services department, what type of services we are giving. So there can be some structural issues again. Sorry, one point has been missed. Threat to establish resource allocation. Again, as I've said you, economically, politically, socially, emotionally, it is very much important that organizations should manage this thing. What threats are being done? What threats should be managed? There should be a resource allocation. It should be it should be properly, the resources should be allocated in a proper way. Then we are having limited focus of change. Limited focus of change, that again, we should not manage so many goals. We should not arrange so many aims. We should not arrange so many things together. This we have to we have to bring change in this department, this department, this department, this department. No, step by step. As I said previously, do everything in a very positive way. Do everything in a very particular way. Do it in slow motion, strategically, one by one. Make strategies, make policies, make steps, so that you can bring that one. Otherwise, what will do, if these focuses are not being managed, it will bring an organizational resistance in your organization. Then we are having group inertia. Again, the problems that can be created by the human resource, or the groups or the leaders cannot be managed by the employees. They cannot maintain their projects to be deal accordingly, or their targets cannot be achieved accordingly. These can be the issues which creates the problem of organizational resistance. Now, there are four phases of transition. There are four phases of how you can bring the changes. Number one is the denial. Second one, to the resistance. Third one, exploration, and towards a commitment. As I've said you before, that we have to look forward with a SWOT analysis. What are the denials? What we used to deny with some of the things, and if we get the importance that these things are very much important for the organization, what we will do, we will, after resisting, we will explore the things, that why everybody wants us to change, why it is important to have the trainings, why it is important to what are the explorations, means why it is important, why we want these all things to be managed, why this change has been coming up. And when we explore the things, we get our knowledge to be managed. We extend our knowledge. And when we extend our knowledge, obviously it will move ahead towards, from the denial, it will shift towards a commitment. And that's what the future is. Now, in the denials, some of the signs in each phase has been described. Denials comes with how good things were in the past. We usually used to say, oh, when we were a child, we were very happy. No, we are not happy. We are happy. But it's about a denial, that what we used to, how good things were in the past. It can't happen here. Numbness, blank. You don't have anything. Means you are just blank. You don't know anything. Everything as usual attitude. Habitual. You are habitual of everything. Means everything as usual attitude. Okay, if this happens, no matter. In the public sector, mostly the people are like this. They become like this. Okay, it's a normal routine work, no issues. It's as usual. So don't these are the types of the denials. Refusing to hear new information. As I'm telling you from the very beginning that people are having neuroticism character and they used to deny with everything. Resistance. How they resist? They show their anger, loss, and hurt. Stubbornness. Sometimes they become so much stubborn. They will show you a bad angerness. They will go for the hunger strikes. They will do different strikes. The labor will do different strikes. The leader will ask them to stop the work at your industries, to stop the work at your organizations, and the things, blaming others, complaining, getting sick, doubting your ability. Now, these are the resistance. Organizations has to manage this resistance. Organizations has to deal with this resistance. They have to face all these things. By looking forward, it is very much normal. If someone is sick, it's okay. But if someone is getting mentally sick, obviously it will create a problem for your organization. Then exploration. What's going to happen to me? I mean, if I will get change, what will happen to me? Will I be successful or not? Seeing possibilities. If I will get this training, I will be a manager, or if I am in a middle manager, I can be promoted to the top management. Now, these are the possibilities which can explore. Cows, talking to other personalities, asking them different things. Indecisiveness, taking time in taking decisions that either I should go or not. Unfocused work are one of the phase of exploration. Energy, clarifying goals. If you are very focused personality, if you are very targeted personality, you have targets to achieve, then you will always clarify your goals. What has to be achieved, why we are getting training, why this change has been done, what it will impact on us, all the things. Exploring alternatives. If we are not going to change, what will happen? If I'm not going to change, obviously I will be getting, means from my opportunity will be managed with someone else. I will be replaced by someone else. Again, coming with the commitment phases, there are some phases which will deal with the commitment. Where I am headed, you are focus, teamwork, vision, cooperation, and balance. When you go ahead with this commitment, you move ahead with this factor that yes, the things are being going on in a very positive way, in a very managed way. Again, coming with this, what? Overcoming resistance to change. If you want this resistance to change, to overcome, to manage this one. Education and communication. Give the trainings. Communicate with your employees. Be with them. Ask them to be a part of your this project, a part of this whatever the new things you are going to have. Negotiations. Okay, why you don't want to change? What are the problems you are seeking? As I've said, you talk to your employees. They are the most important part of the organization. Negotiate with them. Ask them what are the threats they are feeling, why they are getting this numbness, why they are feeling this stubbornness. Negotiate with them. Don't be don't take the decisions in regard of them. Ask them to take the decision by themselves. Participation and involvement. Participation of the employees. Ask them to participate. Ask them to get involved. Look them. What are the threats they are facing? Why they are unable to manage themselves? I mean, why they don't want to get into some of the work? Manipulation and cooptation. Manipulation and cooptation, sometimes you have to show them some of the dreams. This is very normal. You have to, if you have some performance goals, you have to show them that yes, now this is not a type of a manipulation, but sometimes you have to you have to talk something more than they deserve. Sometimes we used to boost up someone, we used to say that, okay, you are excellent, you can do this. Now, this is a type of a manipulation. Don't take it into a negative way. Facilitation and support. Correction. Again, combine everyone. Ask them to move on. Ask them to be a team. Ask them to be whatever they are feeling. Discuss with them. Emotionally be attached with them. When once you emotionally you will be attached with them. They will this issues of resistance to change will be overcome. Creating vision of change. Constructing the envisioned future means you haven't seen that future, but soon you will apply this one. We have seen that in 2050 there will be a robotics and everything will be deal with the robotics. Though in 2023, still in so many underdeveloping countries like Ethiopia or Pakistan, Bangladesh or Indonesia and so many other countries, still there are so much to move on. We don't have so many technology to deal with. We don't have that technology to manage the so many economic problems, but how this all world can be converted into the robotics. So this is an unvisioned future that has been seen in different ways, that has been only discussed, but it will take a huge time to be managed to be changed. It will constructing the envisioned future will give a bold and valued outcomes, but if you're not going to vision accordingly, this will not give an outcome that beneficial outcomes you want. And if you're going to see something, you are going to construct something unvisioned future. For example, as I said, if you are earning 1 lakh rupees and you will bring some change in your business, you will try to get 2 lakh rupees, for example, 2 lakh or whatever the dollars from your business as a profit. But if you're not going to earn that 2 lakh, at least you will earn 150 million. Might be. Whatever you are getting, you will reach to that vision, but passively, but slowly and gradually. Desired future state. It will obviously create, means when you, sometimes the people used to saying that I will take A plus grades. The students used to think this, that I will take A plus grade. Now, this is an unvisioned future. Nobody knows what will happen in the paper, how I'm going to attempt the paper, what will do. But what it will do, you will work hard and you will achieve your target one day. So by constructing the envisioned future, obviously, you will get some bold and valued outcomes. You will get some desired future state. Developing political support. Developing political support, assessing change agent power. Change agent power, when we are talking about a political support, as I've said you, that when we talk about the threat analysis, when we're talking about the SWOT analysis, and among that SWOT analysis, we are having one issue of political support. That is, it's not about that politics that usually the countries used to have. Over here, we are talking about the politics that has been organized or managed, because policy, the political term has been considered from the term of policies. So if you are managing those policies, if you are managing those strategies, obviously you get involved in some of the politics. Assessing change agent power means what are the change agent power? Why it is important? The economy, the social criteria, the competition we are having, our competitors, who are the personalities, who are the change agent powers for which we want to change. Why it is important to get change? Identifying the key stakeholders. Who are the key stakeholders? For any of the organization, the government is the key stakeholder because they wanted the taxes. The shareholders are the stakeholders because they want the dividends. Employees are the stakeholders because if they are not going to work, how we are going to earn the profit? Okay. Sometimes the upper level managers or the people, society, because what are the demands, the customers, they are the key stakeholders of any of the organization. Influencing stakeholders. Now, if you want to develop a political support, if you want to your policies to be successful, then you should manage, you should assess the change agent powers, you should identify the key stakeholders, and finally you should move with the influencing stakeholders, whosoever your stakeholders are. They can be the shareholders, they can be the government, they can be the employees, they can be the customers, they can be anyone, and you have to influence them. Roles in organizational change. Now, change sponsors. who are the change in sponsors and what are their role in the change management in the organizational change. These are the individuals or groups with the power to determine that a change will occur. I mean, they are the people like top level managers, board of directors, the sponsors who are financing you. Obviously, if they will ask you to bring a change in organization, will you resist? Obviously not. You are going to manage it. You will say, okay, boss. Yes, boss. Boss is always right. We used to say in marketing and management that boss is always right. You have to do whatever the boss is asking. So sometimes we have to manage this thing. So number one, change sponsor. This is the major role in the organizational change. Second one are the change agents. Now, who are these change agents? These are individuals or groups responsible for seeing that a previously determined change occur. As I've said, you have to be very much vigilant in the process of change. If you're not going to be vigilant in the whole process from the planning till the outcome, it is you won't be successful in bringing the change in your organization. So the change agents are those people who will see, they are the individuals or the groups. They can be the team members, they can be the leaders, whosoever can be directors or the managers, who will all the time be vigilant and determining this thing that either the change has been occurred or not. If we have trained the people are imposing those, whatever they have got the new trainings, they are doing the work accordingly or not. Change target. These are the individual or groups who are asked to change something, knowledge, skill, or behavior as a result of the change. As I said you, that the employees, they are the people, top level managers, middle level managers, and the lower level managers. They can be the lower level employees who are working under the main managers, and they have been seen that either they have changed their behaviors, they have changed their knowledge, means according to the knowledge, according to the skills, as we have trained them and we have asked them to bring these changes, either they are changed or not. Influencing key stakeholders. What are the things that can influence the key stakeholders? As I've said, influencing the stakeholders are the most important part. A set of questions designed to profile an individual stakeholder, like power. What is their source of power? What they cannot control, like money, time, resources, people, or information. How they cannot be, because you know that stakeholders are the people who can take the stake against your organization. They can take any decision against your organization, and that can bring something bad in your organization. So what is their source of power? You must know that what they control. Either they control your money, or either they control your time, either they control your resources, either they control the people, or they control with the information. Which type of people they are: government, shareholders, employees, or a customer. Who they can influence: friends, admirers, those who feel obligation, your employees. Secondly, what is their style of using power? What they use, if the stakeholders are government or the sponsors, financiers of your investors of your the shareholders of your company. Reluctant and occasional, they are reluctant. They always remain very much vigilant. What has been happening? We have invested, how much we have earned, why this much dividend, why not this much dividend? There are so many people around us, they do so. Make response to threats. What is their style of using power? You must know that what can be the threats you can receive from them. Assertive and direct. Deception and subtlety. How you can manage those things. How you can ask them what are their styles. As I've said, when you do with this SWOT analysis, when you move ahead with the strength and the weaknesses and the threats and the opportunities, you move ahead with this factor. You move ahead with this this thing that you go ahead, what type of a style they are moving on, how they are so much influential, how they can impact in your organization. If you are bringing a change, how you can influence them. And when you're going to analyze all these things, obviously, you will become successful in your organization. Effect to change. How does the change really affect them? Changes their power, affect their other needs, affect goals, objectives, and interests. Now you have to prepare yourself that yes, you will be more powerful. You will affects others' needs. Obviously, this company is having this demand of this project. If we are going to bring this product with this new features, obviously we can have the more products, or we can have the more customers, or we can enhance the number of the customers. This will be economical approach of this phenomenon. Affects goals, objectives, and interests. Every organization has one major object, that is to earn the maximum profit. And when you target with that factor, that yes, if you are going to bring a change in your organization, this will maximize your profit earning. Obviously, it will influence to the stakeholder. What is their likely response to the change? Now, this is obviously you have to ask from your thing, while bringing change, it will be beneficial for your organization or not. Then opposition, uncertainty, or support. Either they will oppose you, uncertainty, don't know, or support you. Yes, they will bring a positive attitude. Action now or wait and see. Open action or hidden action. What will be their response? Either they will say no, they will resist by saying that there is no need of change, or they will help you out. Individual action or acting with others. They will react individually, or they will bring some, the stakeholders will get involved with the employees and they will attack on you. What will be the strategy? Which will two parties will combine together and come against you, or they will individually react. Might be the stakeholders will react solely, or might be the employees will react solely. It depends again. It depends how they will respond towards your change, whatever the change you are bringing. Then what would be the impact of their responses? Significant or limited? Either if you are going to bring those changes, what it will be significant, or it will be limited. It will provide your business a great charm to move ahead, or it will become a limited. When you will bring a change in your organization will become limited. You have to be very much conscious while bringing a change in your organization. Secondly, local or widespread. It will be just at a national level. This change your organization will change according to the national level, or it will be spread international level, globally. As I said, we are living in a global village. We have to change accordingly. Finally, recoverable or permanent. If you are changing for a situation, because as I said that change should be a situational way. If we are changing because of any of the situation, it can be recoverable, or it is a permanent. We will move ahead. Permanently, we are going to change ourselves. So there can be many things which one have to understand. Then, what would make them more supportive of the change? Information and understanding. That if you inform them that why it is important to have a change in the organization, or are making them understand that why the change is important. Involvement and ownership. Asking them to be involved. Giving them the ownership. The employees especially. Because the stakeholders comes with everyone. The government, your shareholders, as well as your employees. So if you are giving this information and involvement as well as the ownership to the employees, they will accept it, and they won't resist in bringing these changes. Changes in planned action. As we always used to say that you have to plan. It's a management. You have to plan everything, and you have to bring these changes into your planned actions. Directions for more senior managers. As I said that the people who are more senior, they become a bit resist because they are habitual of one thing. So sometimes they become resisted that no, there is no need to change. So we have to bring this phenomena among them. We have to manage them. We have to inform them. We have to guide them. So directions are more necessary for the senior managers. Evidence of the success of the change. Asking them that, yes, if you are going to change, you will be successful. You have to give the evidences to them. As that organization has become so successful in that country, they have changed this policy, and now they have changed, they have maintained themselves. So in this regard, this can be changed accordingly. What would make them less supportive of the change? What are the factors in relationship to the employees? Because you have to see all the aspects, the positive as well as the negative. Number one, personal threat. Sometimes they will feel that if we are going to change this thing, might be if they are going to bring a new machinery, we can lose our jobs. This can be a personal threat. So you have to negotiate with them. You have to tell them, inform them. What will be the change? Non-involvement in decisions. As I've said, you don't impose them. Make them a part of your decision. Ask them to be a part of be a part with you. Don't let them be alone. Personal rivalries. This is a personal biasness we usually used to see in the organizations. Sometimes people become rivals. That no, for example, if one person is not liking the manager, it become rivalry to that person. This will become some negative attitudes. Now, this is, as I told you from the very beginning, that we are having the people of neuroticism, and they used to move ahead with these factors. Then insufficient evidence in trial period, defined by them. Insufficient evidence, for example, as I've said, you should provide them the information. You should give them the evidence that yes, you will be successful. If those evidences are insufficient, if you are unable to answer their questions, if you are unable to get their fears to be managed, obviously they will resist. They will not let you to bring a change in your organization. So this is very much important, that all these questions should be managed while processing any of the factor of the change management. Managing the transition means when you are want to transition, when you are wanted to have this management, the current state, as I said your present status, whatever the present status you are having at this moment of your organization, it is beneficial, normal, moderating. You should have the activity planning along with the change management team, and you will get the desired future state. This is very, 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 very normal. And from the very beginning, I'm telling you, with the planning and with the proper team management, you can bring this change and it can be beneficial in your organization. Change management team, role examples. Who can be the head executive sponsors? They can be the corporate management. They can be the key project accountability and ownership. They can be the report to CEO, that is your executive officers on project outcomes and success. Head organizational development. They can be the change leaders who can work as a coordinate overall change program, develop clear change strategies for change responsive, develop clear change strategies for change, responsible and accountable for overall success, develop individual and team change capabilities, communication role. They can be the change agents. As I've discussed in the previous one, they are the change leaders or the change sponsors, change agents. They are having the communication role, providing clear communication to all key stakeholders on change-related issues, develop two-way communication channels to foster ongoing organizational change. There should be a negotiation. There should not be like information. Always go with this factor. If you want to be a successful in your organization, always keep a negotiation rather than just a communication that you have communicated, you have given this information to someone and that's okay. No, negotiate with them, ask them, ask the decision what they want. Then we are having human resource role, the most important role from every aspect. Provide expert HR advisors on personal transition and support. If someone is weak or their skills are not that much developed, give them the training. Ask them that, yes, you can do this. The term, yes, you can do, is the most supportive and the most beautiful one, as well as most manageable. I mean, it can be a most motivating term. Yes, you can do that. This intrinsic motivation can bring so much flame in you, and you can be more successful in your lives in your organization. Then we are having provide change office and project-based HR infrastructure. I mean, whatever the changes you want, you have to make a team and you have to look after everything. You have to be very much vigilant with them, and you have to provide them an office and infrastructure through which you can bring those changes, and you can identify those targets that either these changes has been managed or not. Then you are having the project leaders take responsibility for key initiatives. The project leaders are those personalities who are going to take the responsibilities of these things. They will coordinate project team. They will report to business unit GM, that is a general manager, and change office on project progress. They can be leader advisory role, who can be develop leadership change management capability, provide ongoing change advice to leaders. They can be process coordinator role, coordinate project infrastructure integration, prioritize and plan overall project timeframes. Then we are having performance management role, who can establish clear project and performance measures and reporting system. They are the most important personalities because they will evaluate, if they will make your performance appraisals. Whatever the appraisal you have done, whatever the evaluation you are having, whatever you have done, they will evaluate everything. Manage ongoing projects performance, report to executives on overall progress, because as I've said you from the very beginning till the target has been achieved of the change. I mean, whatever, if the change is your target and you have planned till you achieve that thing, it is very much important that you have to flow with this one. You have to manage with this one. Critical skills of change management. Now, there are some critical skills. You cannot manage with this one that no, there will not be any critical skills. There are some of the critical skills of the change agents. Number one, understanding change dynamics has high credibility. They must realize this factor that how much change is important in the organization. For example, if they want to train you ethically, morally, or in any way, they must realize this factor why this change is important. Appreciates diversity, understands power and influence. As I said, you just one term, yes, you can bring such a flame in you that you can be great to successful. So in that regards, appreciates diversity. That yes, you are diverting, you are changing. Wow, it's awesome. These words can bring so many things. This intrinsic motivation creates so much things. I mean, so much they can bring so much power in you. Anticipates and manage resistance. They can identify, they can follow up, anticipate, identify that okay, these people can resist for this change, or they know how to manage this resistance. Manage multiple tasks. As I said, the team leader is the most important personality who know how to manage the things, who know how to deal with the things, who know how to be with someone, how to, or what should I say, that how to take his team in a very best way. For example, if someone gets sick, or technologically, if someone is not available due to any reason, he must have some alternative to manage it. I mean, multitask can be arranged. He should have such type of a team who should have the multitask skills so that their work can be managed accordingly. Then we are having sustaining movement. Sustaining momentum providing resources for change. If you are want some change, then as I said, you should provide them some training sessions. You should guide them. You should inform them. You should negotiate with them. Unless you are not going to provide the resources to them, how you are going to bring the change? Then we are having building a support system for change agents. Again, those change agents, either they are the coordinators, either they are the leaders, either they are the employees, whatever the cadre they are having, whatever the position they are having, they must be having a support system. They must be having a supportive system. Then developing new competencies and skills. This will sustain your momentum, whatever the change you are developing. Reinforcing new behaviors. Once you have trained them, you must look forward for them that either they are changed accordingly or not. Staying the course means whatever the whole process of change you have developed, you have planned, From the plan till action and till the gaining of those outcomes, you have to look after the whole process, and you have to stay with them, that either this has been accepted, it has been adopted or not. 5 activities contributing to effective change management. Number 1, motivating change and creating vision of change, developing political support, managing the transition of change, and sustaining movement will obviously bring an effective change management in your organization. Elements of change enablement. Now, there are so many elements of change enablement, like leading, designing, realizing from the current state to the future state. You can see that your organizational transitions and your personal transitions, ending, exploring, and beginning with the new things. Now, these should be the elements of change enablement. If you want to have this change in your organization, it is very much important to bring these transitions in your organization. Elements of the change enablements: change architecture, communication, performance management will bring an organizational transition. However, leadership capacity, team and individual capacity, because leader is nothing without his team. Unless you are not having a good team, you cannot be a good leader. Without a good team, you cannot be a good leader. Cultural capacity will obviously impact to your personal transition, and all these elements will combine, will bring a change process in your organization. Now, change architecture, change enablement can be considered as the best practices. There is an explicit strategy and structure which defines the nature and sequence of specific activities and resources required to facilitate the change process. Now, this is what the change architecture is. That an explicit strategy and structure which defines the nature and sequence of specific activities and resources required to facilitate this change process. As I said you that you should give an infrastructure to the change agent. If you want a change in your organization, if you want a change process, then you have to bring some infrastructure. The change architecture is a change practice. A best practice can be considered that you have to bring some explicit strategies or a structure, give them a new building for the training, give them a new session, send them somewhere so that they can learn so many things from the other organizations. As sometimes we used to send the students for the internships or for some training processes, we used to send the students to some organizations. So in this process, what happens? This is the explicit strategy that we are sending our students to some other organizations so that they can learn different things. In the same way, employees are being sent to different ways. They have been given explicit strategies or the structures so that they can learn more and more. Communication. An infrastructure and plan is in place to build awareness of change goals, communicate progress towards attainment of these goals, and encourage collective ownership of the change process and outcomes. Communication, best practice. If you are going to tell everything, inform everything, mean not about the drawbacks, but about the good things, if you are going to inform them that yes, this has been going on, you are getting changing, you are giving intrinsic motivation to your employees, you are, whatever the things you are having, you are encouraging the collective ownership of your employees. Obviously, this will bring a great change process in your organization. Performance management, human resource processes, recruitment, training, measuring, and rewarding are aligned to drive new behaviors in support of the business vision. Once you have recruited someone, without training, you cannot enhance their skills. You cannot enhance their capacities. So it is very much important to for enhancement of their skills, for enhancement of their capabilities, you must train them. And then measure that either whatever they are getting the training, they are implementing in their actions or not. And finally, rewarding them. Sometimes with the bonus, sometimes with the words, sometimes just saying that, oh, wonderful, you are a very nice employee. This will obviously bring a very, very new and supportive vision to your business as a change process. Then in the leadership capacity, when you are talking about the change enablement, when you're talking about the personal transition, how we can forget about the leadership capacity. Leaders' values and behaviors are aligned with the business vision. Leaders possess the skills to drive the change process to completion and accept the responsibility for doing so. As I said, you the leaders are without a team, and team without a leader, you cannot bring success in your organization. So it is very much important that you must have these people around you. The values and behaviors of such leaders will bring a business vision, will bring a successful business vision. And this will bring a great opportunity of change in your organization. Team and individual capacity. Actions have been taken to increase individual and team's ability to enact the business vision and operate effectively in the new environment. Everyone is important. Every human is important. Whatever the individual who is working in your organization, they are important. So always remember that it is very much important to make their capacity, to increase their abilities, to increase their skills, to teach them, to train them, to tell them that yes, you can do this, and this will combine with the combination of this thing. It will bring a new vision to the organization. Cultural capacity. The organization has assessed the alignment of the current culture with the change process and build new values and behaviors as appropriate to support it. Once we used to have a simple culture, but now we have seen that we used to have a cross culture everywhere, in every discipline. In education, in business, and in tourism, in hospitalities, everywhere. Everywhere we have seen this culture. Now we are developing with the cross culture, and to some those cultures will add up some new processes, new values, new behaviors that will become supportive in the change process of our organization. Now this was end of my presentation. Thank you so much for hearing me. Over to you, Novita.
Okay, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, Dr. Sadia. And for all participants, if you want to ask question, you can raise your hand or you can write in the room chat. Okay, for first question, still waiting. I will take first question from audience in the YouTube. For the first question, what case strategy and communication technique can leader employment to minimize resistance and engagement dari organizational change process? This question from Mr. Suparto. Thank you.
Can you repeat it once again, please?
Okay. What a strategy and communication technique can leader employment to minimize resistance and engagement during organizational change process? Thank you.
Okay. What key strategies and communication techniques can leader employ to minimize resistance and enhance employee engagement? Well, it has been all the time I have discussing this thing that one should motivate, one should negotiate. If we are not knowing the problems that our employees are facing at the time of the changing process, obviously we cannot develop their engagement. When you will be satisfied, when you will be knowing about why this changing process has been taken up, then again you will be relaxed and you will be engaged, you will be committed with the organization. So it is very much important that the leaders should manage the strategies, like they should negotiate, they should communicate, they should inform the importance why this change has been taken up. When they are going to make the strategies accordingly, it will obviously create an employee engagement in the organization.
Okay, thank you for answering. And the second question from audience in YouTube, from Ms. Rami, if the management were change the condition in the system on manage the corporation, what about the condition of the stakeholder and others that have been worked and get involved on this company, and how to communicate more detail of the management were changed on the new one? Thank you.
Can you once again, please? Because
yes,
it's
I read in the room chat also, please.
how can organizations effectively navigate this one?
No, the new chat.
Can you take the name of the candidate so that I can read it from the message?
The phenomenon already.
If the management were change the conditions and the system on manage the corporation, this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If the management were change the condition and the system on manage the corporation, what about the condition of the stakeholders and other that have been worked and get involved? Okay. Well, coming with this one, this question, as I've discussed this thing that while I have taken up some of the questions that how to influence the that stakeholders, how to influence the stakeholders. When we have to look forward that we have to bring them on a board. We have to be with them. We cannot ask them that, okay, we are implementing this decision. No, we have to be with them because obviously these stakeholders have a great influential impact on our society, on our organization. So it is very much important to be with them. We cannot neglect them or we cannot ask them that, no, we are not there with you. So it is very much important that we have to discuss all the things and negotiate again with them, knowing what are the influences of those stakeholders and how much important they are. For example, the government or the shareholders or the employees, whosoever the stakeholders are, we have to take them and we have to inform them everything why we are bringing these changes.
Thank you. And the second question, this question from Ms. Febri. Yeah, already in the long chat is technological advancement.
As technological advancements?
Yeah.
As technological advancements continue to shape the business landscape, how can change management strategies be tailored to embrace digital transformations, and what roles does technological literacy plays in ensuring a workforce is adequate, prepared, and empowered for the change ahead? Dear, when you are talking about a digital transformation, that means you are talking about a change. And at this moment, these change management strategies are working. I mean, now look forward. Without the change management, you cannot be able to have a digital transformation in any aspect, in your economy, in your political side, or in your educational sector, nowhere. So it is very much important that you should have these strategies, and obviously they are having impact on your any type of transformation. It is a digital, or they're talking about a technological literacy. And secondly, your question has been asking what roles does technological literacy play in ensuring a workforce is adequately prepared and empowered for the change ahead. Obviously, at this moment, when you're talking about the digital transformation, you must realize this thing that without the technological literacy, you cannot achieve that transformation in any of the organization. So this is a part of a change. Now, this is typically a change that you are doing. You are the people who are not having your literacy they are not literate of the digital. You are giving them. You are making them. You are giving the training to them. So in this regard, these are all the factors that are imposing them. And secondly, obviously, how to ensure workforce. These are the measures. They always measures that has been taken by different people. And the head, there are so many. We are having the head authorities they are known as a change management, who look forward for these measures that either they have been taken or not.
Okay, thank you. And the last question from Ms. Kayla, how can organization actively
navigate and lead through the challenges of change? How can organization effectively navigate and lead through the challenges of change, ensuring successful implementation and fostering a positive organizational organizational culture during period of transition? Okay. Now, when we talk about the management, we talk about from the planning to the achievement of the goal. So this process in which we used to plan, we used to direct, we used to control, we used to take the measure. Now all these things get in the implementations and the challenges of change. uh, I said that when you are taking, you're doing the changing process has been occurred in in any of the organization, it is very much important that you must bring this factor that whatever the implementation you have done or whatever the changes you are bringing, it is implemented or not. Now this is they are the change management, as I have discussed previously. There are so many leaders, there are so many people who navigates, who bring these things, I mean, who see forward all these challenges. And obviously it is a time taking process. And with the implementation, with the measuring of all these techniques, it will obviously bring a positive organization culture in your organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering. I think it's very clear answer from Professor. Before I close this event, we will go to the next section for documentation. Okay, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the phone of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another 1, 2, 3. Smile. Thank you for your keen cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of the webinar visiting lecture today. We would like to say thanks for Dr. Sadia Memon for the wonderful information. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for our participants. Thank you so much for University of Sindh from Pakistan for organizing this excellent event. Yeah, at least we will have more questions in the future. The visiting lecture for today and here we have to see you soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you so much for Dr. Sadia.
Thank you from here.
Thank you.